Hi, hello, what's up? I'm here today to show you all of the books that I want to read in the month of June. So, get ready. So, I usually choose a lot of books to put on my TBR so that I just have a nice variety to choose from for whatever I'm in the mood right now, but it's usually a little discouraging if you're not able to finish all of the books that you wanted to read, so I'm being nice to myself in June, and I only picked like 12 books, I believe, plus the books I'm currently reading, obviously. So yeah, let's start with those. I'm currently reading 2 books. This is one of them, Trace of the Emerald Sea, and this beautiful hardcover edition with illustrations and just very beautiful design overall. And I'm only 70 pages into it, but so far I'm loving every single page, vibing with everything. And yeah, this is quite similar to classics like your middle grade adventure stories, Narnia, or even The Wizard of Oz. So yeah, it's very cute and I'm all here for it, but more on that in the actual wrap-up at the end of the month. And the other book I'm reading at the moment is the 5th book in the Ice Planet Barbarian series. I'm almost finished with that one. I got only like 20% left. I'm reading it on my Kindle. So yeah, it's just as good as the other books. There isn't too much smut in there, which is a good thing because it gets kind of repetitive after some time. So yeah, a little more plot, but mostly just stuff about character development, relationships, and some exploring even, and just some fun competition that is going on. So yeah, it's an enjoyable read. And then most of the next books are actually carryovers from my May TBR that I just didn't get to. So let's go through those. Starting with some serious continuations. This is the last book in the Mistborn Era 1 trilogy, and yeah, I still need to read that to finish the trilogy and read more from this world. I probably didn't pick it up because I'm just not really loving the series so far, but yeah, I will hopefully pick it up in June just to be done with it. And moving on to some more Brandon Sanderson books that will hopefully be better than this one. And I think most people know what these books are about, right? I didn't say what Ice Planet Barbarians was about either, but I think everyone does, right? But in case you did not, for some reason, Ice Planet Barbarians is about women that were abducted by aliens, and they did manage to somehow get away from them, and then they crash landed on a different planet and they have to survive there. They meet some interesting people that lives there. It has some toxic relationship tendencies in there, but I just enjoy it for what it is. And then Mistborn is about the fantasy world, and there are some people who have some interesting magical abilities. They can do stuff with metals, so it reads pretty much like a superhero book in a high fantasy world. And yeah, it has a lot of different perspectives, some interesting people in there as well that are not entirely human, and a lot of mysteries going on, some court action, and yeah, action in general. There's a lot of action in there. The world is interesting. I just don't like the plot too much, and most of the characters as well. I only like one character, so yeah, that's why I'm not too fond about the series. But it's not bad, just not for me. Unlike the next book, which is also a series continuation of the Plated Prisoner series. This is the third book in the series. There are a total of 5 books, and they started out as a King Midas retelling, but very loosely based on it. There were just some references to it and one character that was basically King Midas. It has now evolved into much more than that. It's a very unique fantasy book. It's also young adult, I would say, or new adult, so you can expect that kind of focus in the story and in the writing style. There are some erotic scenes in there as well, but not too many. And yeah, I really enjoyed this series so far. It's been a heck of a ride. I'm excited to see how the third book will be, if there will be more perspectives now, who knows. The first book only had the perspective of one of the saddles of King Midas, basically, who is golden from head to toe, so her whole skin, her hair, everything is golden, which is why she's obviously King Midas' favorite. Who would have thought? And yeah, it's about her journey and being trapped in this cage-like environment, maybe wanting to get out, being conflicted about her captor. Is she in love with him? Does she hate him? What's going on? What does she want? And then maybe finding out that she has some interesting powers, and yeah, all kinds of interesting stuff going on in there. And then the second book also has a perspective of a queen, so that was very interesting as well. And this is, by the way, the Fairyloot edition. Just if you didn't know and if you were curious. The next up, this is the second book in the Percy Jackson series, about how it all started. I've read the whole series years ago when I was much younger than I am now, and I don't really remember a lot about these books. So yeah, I just want to read the whole series again in anticipation to the series adaptation, which I'm really excited about. I hope it's going to be a good adaptation. This is also the German edition of the books, and yeah, I really love these covers. I always have, and I will always probably think that these are one of the most beautiful covers from these books. So the next book is not as well known as all of the other books have been. So this is also a series. I do not know which book this one is because there are so many books in that series. It's actually historical fiction, but you follow different characters, but mostly an inspector, just solving crimes in high society but also in low society, and it's just very interesting. It has some Agatha Christie vibes, but they are not in secluded areas. It's just because of the historical fiction vibes and the high society talk and the crime stuff, obviously. There's also a perspective of his wife and her sister, and yeah, it's not only about the crime, it's also about just their family life and their struggles and the historical fiction elements. It's called something like Inspector Pitt in English, I'm not sure. And yeah, these are very old German editions. I think some publisher in Germany is coming out with these books again now in more beautiful editions. But yeah, I have most, if not all, of the books already in these editions, so I'm probably not going to buy all of the new ones. But yeah, these are beautiful if you didn't know about them and just want to check out if the series might be for you. takes place at the end of the 1900s in London, so you've got some Victorian era stuff in there. And I just checked, this is actually book 11 in this series. Okay, so now we get into books that are not a continuation within a series, but these are book series that I want to start, just because I managed to finish some series, so I have time to start some more. So yeah, this is Belladonna. It's a beautiful book, first off. I love the cover. I also love the cover for the second book, Foxglove. Amazing book cover there. And yeah, I wanted to read it for a while now. It's not too long, it's a rather short book actually, but yeah, I don't know, I never got to it. And I don't really know what it's about. It's a fantasy book. It probably has some witchy stuff in it. If there's a poisonous plant on the cover. I don't know, but it could be. And inside it also says that it's a gothic infused world. Interesting. And also that there's some romance. That's not something that I am looking for, but why not? If it's good, it's good. I also don't know much about this book by Holly Black. I only know that it's obviously about Fae. This is the German edition, by the way. And yeah, I'm not a fan of Fae, actually. So I have some mixed feelings already going into the series, but it's beloved by so many people, so maybe I will enjoy it, but I don't think it's going to be amazing. I'm just hoping for a 3-star book, just something that I'll enjoy in between some other books. I think this is called Folk Air series or something in English. Not sure, but the cover is the same, so you probably know which book I am talking about. The next up is this beautiful edition of Caravel by Stephanie Garber. And yeah, it's also a series I would like to start. It sounds very whimsical about this traveling circus that you can get tickets for and, I don't know, compete to win a very cool prize. I think you can wish anything you like and you can get it. So I think the protagonist is trying to save the life of her sister or something, so she really needs to win. And yeah, sounds just very, very different from anything I've read before, and I've heard great things about the series as well. It's again young adult, so probably going to be rather fast paced. And yeah, this is the collector's edition. It's a slipcase, so that's what the actual book looks like with the ticket on it. And it's just as beautiful on the back. And this is also a book that I wanted to read in May but didn't get to. So this is These Hollow Vows, and I don't know what it's about at all. I wanted to read it because it was a reading group pick on a Discord channel, but yeah, I never got to it. It's just the same as with Caravel and Belladonna. These were reading group picks as well that I wanted to read and never got to. It sounds like it's about Fae again and an assassin or thief who's going on a mission. So not really anything that gets me excited, but I've heard great things, so I hope it's going to be good. And now we're almost done with the physical books, at least. This is Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. It's the Fairyloot edition. So yeah, it's not a book I wanted to read in May. This is just a book that I'm putting on my June TBR because I feel like it. I have a lot of Fairyloot books now that I haven't read, so I really need to pick up some more of these books. The thing that made me hesitate to pick up more of these Fairyloot editions was that these are all starts to a new series, and I will have to wait a long time to pick up the next one. And yeah, I just don't have a great memory, and I will forget a lot about the characters and the plot and the world if I have to wait months and months to pick up the next book. But yeah, I really have to read some more of the Fairyloot books now. This one sounds really interesting. It's about fairies, yes, not really something that I enjoy, but it sounds like it could be something for me, because the main character is, I think, writing this book about fairies, so she's researching them, sketching them, and that's something that does interest me, even if it's about fairies. And yeah, if it's a very cozy, cute fantasy, that's also something that I could enjoy very much. It's also a rather short book, so I should be able to get through it fairly quickly. And then the last book is this Fairyloot edition of the new TJ Klune book, In the Lives of Puppets. And yeah, I've talked about it for multiple times now. It's a retelling of Pinocchio, but it's also about androids and a group traveling somewhere, so it also has fun family vibes, and that's basically all I know about it. Very excited about it, and it's also a standalone, so I don't have to worry about any sequels that have to come out. And yeah, I do love retellings. I do like the Pinocchio story, and I also like androids, so this could be very good, who knows. Never read anything by TJ Klune. This would be my first book, but that doesn't have to mean that it's my last. And then I only have 2 more digital books I want to get to in June. So the first one is the second book in the Zodiac Academy series. I've read the first one, I don't know, at the start of 2023, I think now. So it's been a while, and I didn't pick up the next one just because Iceplan Barbarians was more enjoyable and much shorter than the Zodiac Academy books, and I only read 1 Kindle book at the same time, so I always have to decide between these two, and so far Iceplan Barbarians has always won. I don't know if I'll get to Zodiac Academy in June. I hope I will. But yeah, I didn't like the first book. Actually, I hated it. Because I don't like bullying in books. And this is a bully romance, so there's a lot of bullying in there. So yeah, I just don't like that. The fantasy parts were kind of interesting. Not too original. I've read similar things before that. I hope it gets better. I will give it a second or even third chance, because it's on Kindle Unlimited. I'm not paying anything to read these books, so might as well try some more books in the series, because so many people absolutely love it. And then the very last book that is on my TBR is the second book in the horror manga series, Starving Anonymous. I'm very excited about that one. I will probably pick it up today or tomorrow, I don't know, because it will only take a few minutes to get through it. It's just about this boy that is transported to some kind of facility that does some very dark things, and he has to survive in there. And there's also some science fiction in there, so there are some interesting drugs that make people behave weirdly, to say the least. And there's also a monstrous creature or creatures that, well, they are not very nice to humans. So it's a lot about survival, a lot about disgusting, shocking stuff that you see on the page. And I'm enjoying it so far, so I hope it'll just stay that way in the second book. And before I'm done with the video, I also have to choose a card, a prompt card from the Illumicrate card deck right here. Okay, thank you for lying down. And yeah, this is just something that I do every month because I think it's fun. I don't try to stress myself too much about it. I usually even pick books that I wanted to read anyways to fit the prompt. And yeah, let's just see what this monthly card will be about. So when it comes to picking these cards, I just choose randomly. I usually go with something that matches the upcoming month in any way. So in June it's going to be quite warm, so a warm color would make sense. What about this one? It's not too warm, so but it's the first one that got my attention, so it's just a book with a one-word title. Do I have that on my TBR? Let's see. Nope, not one word. Nope. Gleam. Okay. Yep, or Carnival, or Belladonna, or even the Holly Black book. Or there's a lot of options to choose from. Which one do I want to choose? I think I'll go with the Holly Black book, just because it does match the color a little, as you can see. So why not choose that one? And it also pushes me to finally pick that series up and read it. So yeah, this is my whole TBR for June. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you'll have a fantastic reading month in June. So I'll see you in my next video. Happy reading, and bye!